Ladies and gentlemen, resellers across all platforms, Pocket Change Podcast proudly presents the greatest reseller podcast in the world, at least after the first 18 minutes. It's Joe, Philly Picker, Dan and the Man, and I'm Jimmy, Old School Flips. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up, Jimmy? What's up, dude?
I had to put that little disclaimer in there. The first 18 minutes can be brutal. It can be rough.
That's right. You gotta get over the hump, as they say.
You gotta get past.
What are you guys talking about?
Well, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. It ruined my. I would just like to let that person know that they ruined my week.
The whole week.
No, you need to let them know, Dan. Let them know, Dan. Let them know right now.
There's a couple comments that made me mad this week. I tell you that right now.
Do we want to go over them, or are we?
I mean, I don't know if he's. I mean, the comment about the 18 minutes, like it just seemed. So they, I think I have it. I kept it as a screensaver on my phone just so I could get reminded every morning.
Flame.
A screensaver? You would screensaver on this, okay?
They said 18 minutes in, and you finally start talking about your title. I've been reselling for over 20 years. No one cares. All right. I saw your title, and I thought I would want to listen. Also, to be fair, I can barely read. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that. What a letdown. I and most of the people, because who have you surveyed that you can just justify or testify for them too? You're not interested in boogers, and I'm pretty sure that we said that no one wants to listen to boogers, because I was embarrassed that I said it, but thank you for making me more embarrassed. L trains. The L train it's nice to know if you come to Chicago that if you get on the L train, it's not just like a regular subway. If you want to expect,
if you want to get on the L train and go the wrong way, like you don't.
Well, no, it wasn't the wrong way. It's the L train, like
I did
like
that,
jerks.
I did that.
It doesn't just like a subway, like just kind of
glides.
Yeah, that's the perfect word, Joe.
If
you want or expect more subscribers, you really should consider more structure to your podcast. Listen, you know what? I don't even know. I can't even say your name to begin with. But, I appreciate you listening to the one podcast you probably listen to. And I'm looking over here because I'm looking at my microphone when I'm talking. And I don't know what's going on. But I just didn't. I just thought it was. I thought it was uncalled for. I don't know if have we ever explained what our podcast is. Like this is episode, what is it, 13 now, right? Episode 13. Like, I mean, we're here every week to discuss. Jimmy and Joe are my friends, and we're here to discuss our reselling business. And like she's just like kind of shoot the whatever,
Yeah.
And like that was just I just thought it was me. And who talks about their topic for an hour and 30 minutes straight? Like seriously.
Well, from now, I mean, I agree with you totally, Dan. Like so. This is a podcast, right? It's a podcast. This podcast, podcast
I don't really know.
Can
you explain to me and maybe other listeners what I don't even understand what a podcast is, to be fair.
Well, there's different forms, right? So I think there's different forms. To me, in my podcast listening experience, there's a general topic that they usually will talk, but for the most part, it's friends talking about whatever. Like, I think if it goes off to the side, and we go down crazy roads and talk about funny stuff, I want to laugh and I want to let loose. Maybe we're off base on podcasts. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. But like when I listen to a podcast, I expect them to talk about just about anything.
When I listen, it's conversation, because I was telling you, like, I mean, I don't know.
Joe, describe our podcast to the listeners, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Well, it's a little. If I was a viewer or a listener to it, I would think. I mean. It's a little bit of reselling. It's a little bit of daily life. It's a little bit of how you deal with issues that you come across with in reselling. And it's a little bit of just storytelling of things that we've gone through, in our normal lives. I think some people enjoy that. I don't think I've ever listened. Well, a couple of things about the comment. I don't think I ever listened to something or watched something for 18 minutes.
Yeah.
If I hated it from the beginning. I mean, I think that comment said like, he completely didn't like didn't like the show.
Well, it could be he, she.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
they,
sorry.
They, them.
Yeah, or whatever.
Okay, so whoever the comment was, but I'm just saying, like, if I invest 18 minutes into it, I'm gonna pick something out that if I wasted that much time and I stayed the hour and a half, I mean. I don't think I ever watched something or listened to something for an hour and a half that I completely hated. I'm sure I picked something out of it that I enjoyed.
They're the kind of person that when they drink something that tastes like do they drink something and it tastes gross? They're like, oh, you got to try this, and then they tell everybody else to try it.
Well, I used to do that too. Like I used to, if I put a movie in, I would watch the movie all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, though, I've just like decided I'm like 45 minutes to an hour into this movie. I'm halfway through. It sucks. I'm not watching it anymore. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time. So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like if I don't like something within the first 18 minutes, I'm just tuning out. Or
that was my point. Like, I mean, yeah. But I'm one of our biggest critics, though. Every week, I tell you guys, I'm like, don't I? How many fights do we get into about like? I don't think we talk enough about reselling because the gist of it is that we want to talk about reselling, but like, I'm not here to like teach anyone anything. If you're listening and working, and then that's why I enjoy podcasts. This is something to have on the background to listen to, and you pick up little nuggets and stuff. And you hear a story and it's funny, or someone says something. That's why I enjoy it. And channels like Trash Cash Podcast is one of the reasons I want to do a podcast. And then I listen to other podcasts, and you just talk about it's just talking about stupid stuff and trying to keep it around podcast. But we've done 12 episodes, and we haven't even done 12 episodes together.
Right.
And it just kind of, we're still trying to figure it out. So give us a break, man.
Yeah.
Cut us some slack, they.
Yeah, we're growing. We're growing.
Well, we appreciate you. I appreciate you watching or listening for at least 20 minutes, I guess.
I can maybe help a little bit, Dan. I don't know how much help this will be, but I have this. What I've discovered, creating content, and one of the main things I've figured out, and it's probably my personality, is not everybody's gonna like you, right? Like I already now know that not everybody likes me.
Yeah, but I have a big problem when people don't like me. I do
like too. Believe it or not,
I don't like it when people don't, because I don't try to get on anyone's nerves. But we did have some people that were nice, and they said nice things about us.
Yeah,
and I know there's people. I apprate it. I don't want to be one of those podcasts that complain about stuff. But to be fair, like I was telling them before we started, I didn't really want to do a podcast today. There's a little bit of that, and I don't feel well still. And I just wanted. I didn't have anything else to talk. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to talk about it. And then the one about me on drugs, I didn't like that one either. I hated that.
Yeah, that one confused me a little bit because you said you didn't take your medicine.
Is that what I don't even remember what I said.
Your mom told you to take your medicine, and Joe was like, and you didn't take it, right? And you're like, no, because I want to be awake. So
that one hurt my feelings. That one hurt my feelings. I'll tell you. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Well, but I also feel like we're going to get those comments.
I mean, I understand that too. I'm sensitive, and then I didn't know if I wanted to say anything, because then I didn't want to say anything, because then it might open it up to people to just do it to me all the time. But
it's that's part of what the podcast. So that's part of what a podcast is. So we got a negative comment. We got a comment that they didn't like our. So of course we're going to address that. That's what this platform.
No, because then you have people that are always going to say something negative about us. So then we're going to respond
as we grow.
But to be fair, I mean, we could.
Have you looked at Trash to Cash's comments in their podcast? I mean, they have. Now it's literally like 1 out of 100 are bad, but they get the bad ones, and it's good. As we grow, it'll happen. There's going to be
according to this person, we're not going to grow because we can't.
Yeah, that's true. We're not going to grow as a podcast.
I mean, which it's fine. I mean, we might be growing in on YouTube or one of your favorite audio listening podcast platforms.
So,
that's it.
Other than that, Dan, how was did your week get any better? Like, did you have?
No, last week was an awful week for me.
Awful week.
I wasn't feeling well. It's really cold here, and the weather was kind of nasty, so I wasn't able to. I went sourcing one day, but it took me I had like a migraine. My head was just pounding, so it took forever to get up out of bed to go source. So I only made it through one store, and I was feeling like absolute garbage. So then I just came home, and then after that, the weather's been awful. So
do you get migraines a lot, Roku? Do you get migraines a lot? Like, is that something, like my wife?
It's like a pounding headache. I get them once in a while. Part of it is I'm self-diagnosed of probably some kind of sleep apnea. So I slept on my back. If I don't
set up the GoPro, he was like,
no, I have one of those. I have a Blink camera because this last summer. This is not about reselling, okay? But
we're not to the cat.
I have Blink cameras set up all around my house because one night I was sleeping in my bed and I just heard this big boom. I thought someone broke into my house, and I was scared to death. Like my biggest fear my biggest fear is to one of my biggest fears is to wake up and there's just someone standing over my bed and they're just ready to stab me.
Oh, stab
with like a
stab,
dull
yeah.
knife too.
a dull one,
A dull
Like a
one. It's not
spear.
going to be like a sharp
like a
one.
butter knife, like a butter.
Something like that. I've seen too many mystery stories and stuff. But so I was scared. I thought it sounded like someone was in the house. So the next morning I took Dodger on a walk outside because it wasn't below 0 and we could walk in the summertime or spring. It was spring. And I look on my front door. There was a boot print on my front door. It's still probably there. It's still probably there right now. I swear to God. Maybe not right this second. I didn't wash it. I leave it there as a memory in case. So I had called the cops.
All your neighbors were okay? Like your door was locked. Maybe they got no one broken into your neighbors or anything, did they? Like what if they were trying to break in?
I called the cops. I called my mom because my mom owns the house. My mom, I rent the house from my mother.
Mom first, then
because I rent the house from my mother, so I told her about it, and she told me to call the non-emergency police line to let them know. So they sent a cop out here. So the cops are here, and that was awesome because I love mysteries. And so they came and they went. There was 2 of them, and they went. One was talking to me, and the other one went to go scope out the neighbor's house. There was the back gate on the neighbor's fence was open, and they're like, "Is that normal?" And then I'm like, "No, not really. It's they always have their stuff gated." And they're like, "Oh, okay." They had their hand on their holster, whatever. And
this is like straight out of like the ID channel stuff. Like this is
I can't even watch it. I love that stuff. I've been watching this new show called it's new to me. Interrogation Raw on A&E where they interrogate people. That it's on it's awesome. Which I do already know most of the stories that are on there. I'm like, I already know this whodunit. But anyway, back to my story. One of the police officers was super tall and the other was very short. So the very tall one just looked over the fence, and the other one was going inside. And they went and they looked. There's nothing there, so they went and go check on my neighbor. So anyway, the police officer walked around the house, and then he wanted to see inside my garage, and which I was a little bit embarrassed. I'm like, you know what? Before you go in here, let me just tell you that I do this thing on eBay where I sell stuff, and people, I keep all my inventory out here. It's all filed away. It's organized, and I can tell you if you tell me what I have, I can tell you exactly where I put it. But when you look at it, it's not going to look like you can see anything that's going on in here. Okay, so I opened up the door. He looked inside. He looked very disappointed in me because it was an absolute disaster in there, which is fine. It's okay. There was no one in there, so he was happy about that. And then, basically, they told me that there's nothing they weren't going to do anything, but they just knew it. My mom wanted me to call just so they would know in case the person came back to kill me that night.
This is insane how you diagnosed your sleep apnea.
Oh, that's what we started
You're
with.
the only person I know who the cops were called just to diagnose sleep apnea, like all this stuff.
Self-diagnosed. Well, it's funny. Fun fact though, I did go to the doctor and they told me to go take a test for it. So they gave me a thing to call to make a test. So when I called to go take the test, they told me I needed to have a doctor call them, set up the appointment. So then I called the doctor, and the doctor they wouldn't answer reply to me calling about them calling to set up an appointment. So then I just said, well, forget it. They don't care. I don't care. And so
I have
self-diagnosed.
I'm self-diagnosed. It's expensive. That even if you get that referral, man, that place they send you to, good night. I didn't go because of the cost.
Oh, really?
But because for one night of testing was going to cost me a fortune.
So I try to sleep. I have I'll put a if I really want a good night's sleep, I put one of those back pillows, where you can sit up in your bed. I put one of those on my bed, and then I'll sit up while I sleep. So then I look like if someone came in the house, I might freak them out because they open up the door to stab me. I'm just sitting there.
Well, we don't have to kill him. He's already dead.
But all that to tell you, that's why I was like, why am I even talking about that? Because when they kicked in the door, I bought security blink it's on Amazon. Blink cameras, have them set up all over, and I wanted to set one up and have it facing me while I slept. And I wanted to make my YouTube video like one of those day in the life vlogs for my channel. And that was gonna put me like, oh, I'm sleeping during the night. And then when I filmed it one night, and I'm like, I can't put that in there. I was like, literally, like, just looked like this big, humongous guy laying across my bed. I hang off my bed. I basically keep like 1 foot on the ground half the time, and it just looked like it was too embarrassing to be fair.
So is it loud snoring? Or is it one of those things where we just gonna go?
Oh yeah, I'm loud snoring and choking, and
I know the feeling.
Well, not only did you get the blink cameras, you also set up another security thing for you, right?
well, I used to have a baby gate.
Right. Okay. The baby
door.
gate.
And my door. I don't have that anymore. I had that before.
For the dog, or
it used to be because I had at one time I had 2 cats and a dog. My cats wanted to come and go out of my room, so I left my door cracked, which was also creepy to have your door open at night when you're sleeping. But you know, like when you're scared. Now I have my door like locked. I'm locked in my room at night, but before, and I keep a baby gate up so I could keep my dog in. At the time back then, I was pushing an ottoman against my front door, like so you couldn't get in the house. Like so, then I was scared about being locked in the house with a fire.
Oh man!
Oh yeah. Man.
And I was being stuck.
Are you scared of the dark, man? Are you scared of the dark?
I mean, kind of. But
as a kid, were you scared of the dark? Like, were you? I remember being scared of the dark, and like when I went to bed, I'd turn on the hall light, then run back and turn off the living room light, and then I'd run to my room, turn on my room light, and then run back and turn off the hall light, so that it was never dark. Like, I always had.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, it's never been. I always had a nightlight. I think I always fall asleep with the TV on, so it's never really like dark.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, how many? Are we 18 minutes yet? Can we start talking? Can we start talking about reselling?
You got to get to the Kathleen topics.
We're 16,
start about 17 minutes.
Okay, man, I have a story I could tell that remind you of like the ID channel. I have a story that I'm gonna tell. So like back when I lived in Colorado, my sister lived with me, right? And her boyfriend at the time lived with me. I'll try to tell quick. And lived with us too. So like her and her boyfriend both lived there. And he went to visit some friends in Texas, right? And he goes to Texas and he just stops answering his phone. Like no one can get a hold of him. His family can't get a hold of him. So he tells his family he's going to Texas and then stops talking to anybody. So like he's gonna be gone for over a week. So 3 days in, his family's like freaking out. Like they're like, we can't get a hold of him. Are we even sure he went to Texas? So next thing you know, cops are at my door and like they're in my house searching my house. And I'm not even lying.
Did they have a warrant?
No, I let them because I don't have anything to hide. I don't know. There's nothing to hide. Like I don't care.
Really
like, with my permission, they're searching my house because I literally have nothing to hide.
They're like, I'm like, what do you have all these what do you have all these toys for? Like being an adult?
Well, I kind of was like, I work out of my house.
Kids in here.
All these kid workers you have in the base. They're building toys.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
So, but like the question was asked, is there anywhere else I need to look where maybe you could hide a body?
Oh, they asked you that?
And I was like, whoa, wait a second. What? I was like, what's going on? I was like, well, they haven't heard from him in 3 days. His family's trying to find him. And I was like, he said he's going to Texas. I don't know.
So where was he? Where was he?
His phone broke. And I'm like, well, you couldn't get a landline or something? Like
landline?
It felt almost intentional. Like,
wait, so did you say your sister's boyfriend at the time?
Yeah.
So they didn't work out, or are they married now?
It didn't work out.
Oh, did it happen right after this?
Not long after, correct. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's probably your fault that the relationship didn't work out. It's your fault.
I was upset. I was like, if you're going out of town, your phone breaks or gets like, you still have to try to. There's email. There's ways to get a hold of your family. Let them know, hey, I'm okay. My phone broke. You have friends. You're seeing friends while you're there. Call your mom. Like, so it was pretty.
We just had a guy here. He ran off the road during like a snowstorm, and he crashed down into a river underneath the bridge. It was on Inside Edition.
Yeah,
he was down there for 6 days over Christmas. Yeah. No one missed them at all.
No, yeah, a fisherman. Two guys going under a bridge.
Reported it?
Huh?
Like nobody missed him at all?
No,
No.
they never say anything. Like they never say anything.
So he's the one telling the story. Then was he okay?
Well, they finally
Yeah.
these two fishermen found him. He was in his he was stuck in his truck.
Wow.
He was drinking rainwater off of his airbag for 6 days over Christmas.
And you think you're having a bad day?
Yeah, and I'm sick. This guy's like,
I think they had to cut his leg off too.
Yeah,
there's another big mystery going on that's it's all over the TikTok news. Those 3 people that went to watch the football game. Have you heard that one?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
No, I didn't hear it.
3 guys went.
So you're supposed to
they went over to a friend's house
Reselling.
to watch the Chiefs game, the playoff game, and the next or 2 days later, they're not answering their phones. Nobody can get a hold of them for 2 days, and then 2 days later, they find all 3 of them in the backyard, froze to death.
Yeah, one of the fiancés is one of the gentlemen. She broke into the house because the guy he wouldn't answer, and their cars are out front.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But what's crazy is why didn't she just call the cops when the cars are there? She broke into the house.
How does it go 2 days?
They didn't say if did she get arrested for breaking and entering?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff with that story. And I would be
too scared to do that. So
yeah,
shout out to her.
So I'm following that. It's they got a lot of these online investigators.
Yeah, I keep seeing TikToks and like update, and they tell the exact same thing, and it says part 1, and then there's no part 2.
Like I can't wait till. I mean, it's awful. It's terrible what happened, but like, what happened is the quick. Like, how does that even? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Dan. I watch and follow that kind of stuff. Pretty. I like those kind of shows and stuff.
I also like reselling stuff.
So
Joe,
how are we doing with the reselling? I had an awful weekend.
Joe, your sound always it's been, the last 2 weeks. It sounded like you're talking in a can or something.
I don't know. Is my mic on?
Do you have your mic on?
This is some.
How about now?
What do we call it? Sometimes you have to check your settings and make sure you're on the right microphone on this system that we're using. We're having some technical difficulty. Volts, hang with us.
All right, well, go ahead. I'll check.
So my sales have been I had a bad week, guys. Like I had
the whole week.
So the week before, like a 7-day stretch. Like last week, not this weekend that just went by, but the weekend before, and then like the 5-day, like it was terrible. And then starting Friday, this last Friday that went by, now sales are back to normal. Fine, but I was worried. I think I kind of told you guys. I was like, I'm going to get a job. Like, what's happening here?
Huh?
How you said your sales are good, or?
I mean, my sales. I was looking right now. They've been the exact same that they always are. Like this weekend, this past weekend, I was scared I was going to sell more on Poshmark than I did on eBay, but eBay ended up coming around yesterday. Right. I mean, it's nothing to me. I think I'm looking down at my stuff today. I think I have 10 or 12. I'm doing pickup today, so I was like doing my shipping yesterday and today. Oh, yeah. So I don't remember what I. It's been so cold. I'm hanging out with Dodger all week. I've been hanging out with him all weekend, and he's driving me nuts. All he wants to do is go for a walk, but then he can't walk. He can't walk on his paws are. It's so cold outside.
Yeah. My pug keeps freezing one of his back paws. We have to monitor his potty breaks. Like we usually have a doggy door they can go in and out, and like now we had to close it and let him out because his back paw is getting too cold and like starting to limp.
But the stuff I've sold, I had good sales for me. Like I had this morning I sold a pair of snowboarding pants for $50, and then this weekend I sold a pair of Harry Potter Vans shoes. I found them. I was at 2-3 right before Christmas. There was a 50% off sale at Goodwill, and in the case they had a pair of Vans. I saw them. And I thought they were really cool. So I'll just take them. And I think they were 20, and then I got half off of them. And when I came home that day, I never comped them or anything. I just thought they were really they're appealing. Usually Vans shoes I buy only at the bins because they're so cheap there. But they don't really they sell for like $20 for me. But these just looked really cool. So that night I came home and I was finally looking at them. And inside in the insole there was it said Harry Potter, and I was like, these are Harry Potters. So I listed those. I think I just listed them last week. Finally, it took me a second to list them, and they sold for $49.99 plus shipping on those too. So pretty happy about that. But I only sourced like I said earlier, only sourced one day last week, and I didn't really find much. Everything at the Goodwill by my house, everything like a Nike shirt, it's $12.99 now. And if it's not on sale, like I can't do anything with it. So I picked out a few things and just been listing. I'm one of those people that I want to list. I need to list something every day. And like in my head, it makes me feel like it helps to make sales, like to list every day. So I've just been spreading my listings. I've been doing like 5 listings.
Do you have enough of a death pile to maintain that for a while?
No, I don't. I have to go. I'm gonna have to go out. I have a little. I'm looking at some stuff. So this last weekend, I took some. If you're watching on YouTube, I have my rack of clothes that have been behind me because I was messing. It's empty. What? I started listing it on eBay instead of Whatnot. I was doing. I think I'm gonna give up on Whatnot. I had this stuff. Some of the stuff I've been showing in shows for. I wasn't doing a lot of shows, and I only have a few people that were coming in, but there was like, huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say it's a perfect time for a shout out coming up here in a second after you talk about Whatnot.
The perfect time
where you might be going.
Oh, so I was listing. I had the clothes here, and I've been showing them in a few shows. A few things I was showing in like 3 shows, and they didn't sell. So I was like, last week I was like, I gotta start listing this stuff. No sense of it sitting here because, like, I didn't have enough stuff to do a show, and instead of just sitting here, I'm like, I might as well just list this, and then when I find new stuff, I'll just cycle it back in. I started selling it. I'm trying to sell it on Whatnot for like $2, $3, $4, $5, and I started listing it, and it started selling on eBay. I had like 12 or 14 things here that I was listing, and I sold 5 of them already on eBay for way more, not like crazy amount of money, but way more than I was trying to peddle them on Whatnot about. So,
you made me think of a question I want to ask. I want to ask both of you guys, like because it's so cold out. Like I asked you about the death pile, and you don't have a huge. Like, will you let this extreme cold slow you down from sourcing? Like Joe, are you still gonna get out there, hit thrift stores when it's this cold? Are you gonna stay home more and try to work at home more?
Yeah, I went to the flea market over the weekend, but
the flea market in this weather?
Yeah, there was only a few vendors
it's
out
an
there.
Indoor one, is it?
No, it's outdoor. It's outdoor. Yeah, but it wasn't real good. But I mean, I'll go to thrift stores and stuff. I have some stuff here anyway that I need to get listed anyway. I save some of the. Not that I save it, but I always seem to find because of that, like the flea market's not real good. When I go to the thrift stores and stuff like that, I'll pick up some things that I consider like a project. It's not always the smart, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Things that need to be cleaned a little bit extra, things that need to be,
that's
I have to put some work into. So I have them here that eventually I'll do. But my sales
how cold was it at the flea market? I have to know. Like, I'm sorry.
It's cold. It's cold.
Like, what was the temperature out?
I don't know. We're in 20s, I think, over the weekend.
That's cold to be out there picking. Sorry,
most of the vendors there have some sort of like propane heater thing, at each of their booths. Some of them sit in a car until they have somebody come over. But there's always usually people there. It wasn't too bad. But my sales this week have been terrible. But there's a little bit to go with that. I've been trying to wean myself away from using the promoted listings and running sales and stuff like that. And
you're not promoting at all?
No, I feel like eBay has you by the by the balls. That if you don't do it, you're not selling.
Joe, you can't say that.
You're not selling anything. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're not promoting at all.
I didn't over the weekend, and I didn't. Friday, my listing ended, my promotions ended Friday morning, like overnight Friday, whenever they, 3 a.m. Eastern or whatever, they end Friday. So I ended up selling one thing on Friday, or 2 things on Friday, and nothing Saturday, nothing Sunday. And I ended up taking a lowball offer on Sunday night when I was watching the football games, Sunday night on a baseball. I think I saw them for like $28. It's an old Major League Baseball. I have like a dozen of them. I have them listed for $28. Somebody sent me an offer for $18, and I took it to see if that will jumpstart my, something.
Yeah.
And I literally didn't sell anything Saturday or Sunday. Monday
have you turned it back on? Have you turned promoter back on? Or are you still rolling with the?
What are you promoting?
I turned them back on. I turned them back on today.
So what? What are you promoting it at?
What I do kind of like the same thing that we used to do, that we used to talk about. What's it, like 3%, and I cap it off at like 9.9%.
So why don't you instead of doing that? So when we used to do that, I used to cap it at like 10%. I would 3%, and I'd cap it at 10, and then I feel like it was last year I just stopped, and I started I just flat rate 5%, and that's what I've done for the last year. And then
You didn't see a lot of change.
It was this. It's like the same. It just because I was selling everything. I don't sell as much as to promote it as I used to though either. Like, as it tells you, like when you're, when I was doing 10%, everything was selling at promoted, which I guess that would be better, right? But my sales are I did better than I did last year, this past year. But this year I was going to drop to 4%. That was you have minimum, you have to
2 now. It's 2, right?
2. So I was going to go to 4% just because selling mostly clothes and shoes. Like and I sell mostly like the mall brand type things that people, there's probably like a Nike hoodie or Nike polo or something. There's probably a lot of competition on that.
A lot of competition.
But I just was in my head, I'm like, I still don't think, like when I look, I feel like I could eat this is not me saying my pictures are great. I think my pictures are pretty good. I give a lot of pictures, a lot of detail, and I feel like I can sell my shirt better. If I'm looking, I was trying to comp stuff this yesterday. I was listing shoes. I'm trying to comp shoes, and then I'm trying to I have a pair of shoes that I don't know if they're men's, women's. I can't figure it out, or kids' shoes. Like I don't know. I'm looking at them. I think they're men's. But anyway, when I'm looking at the pictures, people have them. They take 2 pictures. They take a front and then like an over, like a crooked over. They don't have good pictures. So anyway,
no, you're doing it right. Like every good shoe seller I've ever talked to, the most important thing with shoes is to take a lot of pictures, because and one of the best analogies or best ways they describe it was like when you go shoe shopping, if you're like, you don't just look at it in the box and say, I'm gonna buy it. Like you take that shoe out, you look at it, you check. So you want your pictures to reflect that experience of taking the shoe out and actually looking it over and seeing if you like the style, the cushion, and everything like that. You want your pictures to give the buyer that feel like they went to the store to buy them. So you're doing it right. Like that, you're 100% right. That's the way to do it.
So I don't think I have to promote.
You have an advantage. Yeah,
I think when I'm looking, and that's not saying it's just some of it is people are learning. Like when you first started selling, you don't know how many pictures you don't know how many pictures you're supposed to be taking or
right.
But I'm so scared that someone's going to like, oh, there's like a dust of some dirt on there. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's pre-owned shoes. Like they're not going to be immaculate. Even when I personally buy a pair of shoes, they're like never immaculate either. Like I swear to God, there's always some kind of something on them.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like,
why don't you just bring your promoted down? Just don't promote as much. But I'm not sure. I don't think you can just like go straight if you've been doing up to like, I think you gradually end it.
Well, yeah. Well, because I was trying to figure it all out, and like I said, it's not something that's, I would promote, and then I stopped to promote, and then I was doing like the markdowns, like 10% off, 15% off, and things like that. Then I started selling stuff like that. So I did adjust my prices a little bit. That's why I think my store is all screwed up right now, because I did adjust some of the prices.
You just reopened your store like 6 months ago. How are you having this much trouble?
Because I started, I was it was annoying that everything I was selling was promoted. Like it every time I sold something and saw that it was promoted, I'm like, this is crazy. Because like I said, everything, even though I capped it off at like 10%, 9.9% or whatever, I capped it off at 10%. Everything was selling at 10%. Like everything that was.
I don't think you got to promote that.
See,
you're like, so you have a lot of one-offs, don't you? Like, I mean, there's not.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly. I'm a creature of people. I always stalk in people's stores too.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like, and then I don't know. Then I started running the sales. I started doing the sales late last year, and I was doing okay with that. But I
thought you were doing better with that.
I was adjusting my prices, and then I was.
So you're not getting enough time to work.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Here's something like
I just feel like eBay has you. Like If you're not going to promote,
hey, I got an analogy for you. What
Wait,
eBay
first,
is
do
doing,
you-
what
do you
eBay
promote-
is doing good. Oh, sorry.
Do you promote? No, I just
Yes,
wanna,
I promote.
before we forget to ask you, like,
Yes, I promote. I do my ceiling at 8%. This is an analogy. I have, man, I do analogies like crazy. So you've seen the movie The Dark Knight with the Joker, Heath Ledger as the Joker. There's that. So it's the tool that eBay gives us,
R.I.P.
and then we use it. That's how we use it, right? So there's the scene where the Joker's like taking over the crime bosses, right? And he goes to this one group, and there's 3 guys in a room, right? And he breaks in half a pool stick and throws it on the floor, and he says to the 3 guys, "We only have room for one, so like you guys figure it out. Like whoever survives this fight gets to be part of the group." Well, that's what eBay's doing. They're taking promoted and basically saying, we only have room for one sale on this item. Whoever promotes the highest is going to win. Whether we like it or not, that's kind of what they're doing to us, right? So like, is going to win the search. And so that's like the analogy, like here, and so as the sellers, when the higher we promote, the more money we lose. So like I wish there was more of a ceiling. I wish eBay would step and say, like we're going to put a ceiling, because there's people that promote at 20, 25%, and they go for volume. They're going, and so if you're competing with that guy, well, that's the guy that
do they make profit?
And yeah, I mean, because they shop at the bin, bin, so they have low cost, right?
Yeah.
And they only pick the better, they try to pick only the better stuff that, but even then, if you pick a $20 shirt for $1.50 and you sell it and you lose 40%, you're still, if you sell 30 of those a day, and that's the guy Dan's talking about that he's competing with, that guy's promoting way higher than Dan. That's the challenge. And then clothing, you're right, Dan. That's the big. Their clothing is oversaturated. There's so many people doing bread and butter brands, and if you're not promoting at that other person that's promoting, and they're promoting at 20%, and you don't promote at all, you're the guy that didn't pick up the cue stick and win that fight. You know what I mean?
So
whether we like it or not, that's how it is. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So when I'm gonna buy something, I go and I sort it by like lowest shipping price plus shipping.
Yeah.
And then I go looking through it. I feel like I think every time this
promote and go to the lowest price.
But then do you just buy, how many people that do that do you think just buy the first one they see? Do you think there's tons of people that do that? I shop, I look. I'm always looking for a few things. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
there's all different kinds of shoppers. There's thrifty shoppers. Right. There's people there are people in this world where money's not as big of a deal to them, a thing to them. And so they're just like, oh, there it is, I'm gonna buy it. Like that's why that buy it now button exists. Cause like I found it. I have $100,000 in one of my bank accounts. Oh, there it is. I'll click buy it now. I want it on the way to me. You know what I mean? Those people exist for sure. They exist. Now, go ahead.
Sorry.
I shop on eBay for different things, and I do shop lowest to high or lowest plus shipping or whatever it is, and then but I can't tell you that I necessarily bought the cheap. I mean, there are sometimes that
I don't know. Yeah, I don't buy. I just that's where I want to start. In my head, that's where I want to start, is looking at what's the.
I always look for close to me too. Like I want it to get
nearest you.
I usually want it to get to me quick. I don't know why. Like I want to get it as quick as possible. So I check for low price, but I also check near me too. Like I don't want it.
I'll see. I don't do that. I don't.
Coming from California, you. And maybe it's even like a thing where, like, man, if I buy this free shipping item from this guy in California, he's going to pay a fortune for shipping. Why not buy it? This guy here in Michigan has it, and it's the same price. Like, I don't know. The guy in California probably still wants the sale, though, but he's going to pay way more for shipping. So
unless he has less into it than the guy from Michigan.
Yeah, promoting is such a hard topic because, man.
Great. That was the topic of the video.
I know. It's so difficult to. No, I mean, it's difficult to talk about because.
We have to talk about it.
You look at your analytics. Do you guys go into your seller hub and look at the analytics of your promoted sales and stuff?
I go in there sometimes. Look, I mean, just from turning off which I understood this was going to happen just from turning off the promoted listings to the like impressions that I have are like non-existent. You know what I mean? It almost like nobody's looking at anything in my store because it's not promoted.
How long, Joe? How long is your campaign going?
I usually do it a couple days. Like
you haven't changed that, Jimmy. How long do you do yours?
Mine's always going.
It's always ongoing. You don't ever refresh it.
No, and I don't have any issues.
So I do it every couple days, like 3-4 days. Like I'll change it. Usually,
yeah. Like I have one ends tonight, and then I'll start it, and it'll be on Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll start it on Friday for the weekend.
Right.
I mean, so for
I'm a day off this week because of the holiday. Like
my continuous one yesterday had 432,708 impressions yesterday. So getting a lot of impressions, and I'm getting sales. But here's the number I look at. I only look at one number when I look at this, and it's for the last.
What are you
for the last 31 days?
The Seller Hub and the marketing.
Yeah, the Seller Hub, and then you go to advertising dashboard, right?
Yeah.
And so the number I care about the most in the last 31 days, I have paid $493.54 in promoted fees. That's how much I've paid in promoted fees. And those promoted fees, ad fees, yes. Though those fees have led to $6,192.54 in sales.
That's for me, sales right above it.
Yeah, I take that every month, and that's on. For the most part, that's down 40% from the fourth quarter. So my sales.
I'm looking at mine right now too. Can I tell you mine?
Yeah, tell it. Yeah.
It's down. So my ad fees is $68.90, and my sales, that's right above it, right?
Yep.
It's $1,478.
So would you pay that $60-some for that sale in 30 days? Would you pay that?
Yeah.
Joe, do you have those numbers right now or no? If you don't,
can I look at my phone? Is it on the phone?
I don't think you can. I think you have to be on the Seller Hub. So my point, and I've always kind of used this cheesy analogy. If you had a store, like a brick and mortar store, and someone came and you said, "Hey, I have a sign on the street corner that you can rent for $493.54 a month, and it's going to get you $6,192.54 in sales in that month. You want to rent my sign? Guess what? I'm renting his sign."
Yeah,
that's my analogy. And that, like, when you look at those analytics, while it still sucks, it makes more sense to me, and I can live with it. You know what I mean?
When I used to, when Tommy Bernard used to do his the late night show with Tracy and them, he would talk about that a lot too. He was talking about like your promote, because I never understood if you had to promote or not to promote, and it's always finding that right balance. Because again, going in if I go thrift, and I just told you like some of the shirts and stuff at mine are like $12.99. So when you start trying to find stuff to make some money on things, and then you factor in promoting and stuff, like I'm skeptical if I have to, but I do it. And I used to cap it. I used to do 10%. I would just do a flat of 10% or a trending plus up to 10% cap. And then I did a whole year of just 5%. And then this year I wanted to do 4%, which I forgot already. And the last two I've done it 5% again, because I completely forgot I was doing 4%. But
can you filter these by the last 30 days, or is it just your last campaign? Is that how they?
Are you on that?
You're in the Seller Hub?
Yeah.
And then advertising?
You're on the advertising dashboard right now?
Yeah.
It'll already be. It'll say impressions. It'll just be your last 31 days.
It automatically goes to your last 31 days.
Yeah. You could switch it to the last 7, 14, 31, 90. You could do this month. I'll look at last month. I always like to do mine from. It's
such a tough, because I understand if you don't promote, and I understand if you don't have to promote. Like maybe you have something that maybe the way your setup works for you. But like, one of the things I learned at the eBay Open back when I went in 2019, or not learned, but was told by
that's
eBay.
Where you got a concierge to let everyone know.
Yeah, that's where I got my concierge. In 2019, one of the things that was said to me in this, I kind of took this like, you're right, but I don't know if I want to do that. Again, like you look at a store like Walmart, all right? Walmart they pay for advertising, promoting when they have a sale. They don't usually promote just regular, oh, this is this. When they're rolling, so they're promoting, they're spending advertising money to show you they're having a sale. So what eBay is shooting for and what they're looking for is you to promote, and then if you're and have a sale at the same time, like that's optimizing your sale. Like you're promoting your listing and you're running a sale. So now you're driving people just like a Walmart, and that's how they use the analogy. That's when I started thinking about those analogies. Is like Walmart pays advertising to run a sale, or pays advertising for a sale that they're running. So they're spending money and reducing prices too, and that's kind of what.
So you do both?
I do both. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. See, my last 30 days, but this hasn't been consistent because, like I said, I was messing around with it.
You were messing around with it.
The last month I put in there was 1.3 million impressions. I sold 36 items.
What's your ad fees?
My ad average is 9.08.
Your ad fees.
Just to the right of that.
$126.
And then right above it, sales.
1,394.
There you go.
And my average like promotion rate is 9.08%.
That's my cap is at 8. So that my average is 7.
Okay.
So
7%.
Mine's 5 because that's what I was looking at last month. Let's see what it is the last 31 days. How many days?
And it's down 55% from this.
I'm down 40%.
Yeah,
was that from last year or the previous month before that?
The last 31 days.
Last 31, the previous 31 days.
Yeah, because that's when I started messing with everything. Is like, I don't know. I just
think it's like slower in general right now, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but I just feel like I don't know. I just get annoyed every time I look at it. You know what I mean? But like you said, to pay that what was I at? $126 to sell almost $1,394. So almost selling $1,400 in items to pay $126.
That's a little bit. That's getting like you're at a higher percentage, and you're getting close to uncomfortable for me. Even like you probably profited $900 out of that 100 and some you spent after because that's gross sales. That number you look, that's 6,000 or that 1,000 you're talking about. That's gross. What'd you say it was?
I didn't think it was gross.
Like $1,400.
Oh, well, so no, you did better than that.
$1,394, and I paid $126 in fees. So I mean, it's not terrible, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody but like it goes back to that when you put it in that aspect of it. If someone comes to me and says, "Listen, the next 30 days, you're going to sell $1,300 worth of items and give me $126 of it,"
right?
I'm saying okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like,
let's do it, Joe. Joe, in the next 31 days, you're going to sell $1,500 worth of stuff. I just need you to give me $100.
I'm doing it.
Just make the check payable to Dan.
I'll send you my PayPal. It's human fund.
Yeah,
219@gmail.com.
So
what's that email?
It's human fund. 219
fund.
Human fund. It's a joke that did not
fund.
It's from. So if you haven't followed me like the person who hates us,
here we go.
My old channel name was Art Vandalay, which is a Seinfeld reference, and for my PayPal account, I just wanted to have like another Seinfeld reference. So George, when he does Festivus, he gives a card to everyone at work because they're giving out great presents. He gives them all a card that he made a donation to the Human Fund in their name. So I made that my PayPal email, and it doesn't seem to age very well because all the human trafficking. I should change it probably.
You should probably.
There's nothing to do with me buying or selling people. Okay, it's just I thought it was funny. I mean, I still kind of do.
But that hit real well, Dan.
Whatever.
But anyway, getting back to our reselling topic. So
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Make anybody mad.
We can edit all these out.
I'm gonna call it the Kathleen topic. I already told you guys. It's the
no, you can't do that because there's probably some very nice Kathleens that listen to us.
You're right. I'm sorry, all the nice Kathleens.
So I guess I'm going back to promote.
We'll call him a
Like I said,
hangry listener. Hangry.
angry. Okay, but I haven't. I can't tell you the last time that I haven't sold something on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday on eBay in a very long time.
And
It happened.
did it happen just recently?
It happened this week
because of not promoting.
because I didn't promote. I didn't promote nothing. And
It's there.
I listed Friday. To be fair, I listed Friday like 7 or 8 items on Friday. I didn't list on Saturday. Riley had a couple birthday parties and things like that. We were running around basketball games. I didn't list anything on Friday. I'm sorry. Listed Friday. Didn't list Saturday. I listed a couple items on Sunday. I think I added an auction that ended. I re-listed that auction. So, I mean, it wasn't necessarily not listing or whatever, but like I said, I want to be fair. I didn't list on Saturday. So, and to not sell anything on those 2 days is
I'm the problem with this podcast because I'm going to ask this, Joe, did you find something wrong with your microphone? Because you sound better. Did you change, like when we talked about it earlier, did you change something?
No, I just went in and turned off, I don't know, it was one of these settings and said something about.
It sounds the same to me.
That sounds better to me.
Reduce background noise. I click that and automatically adjusts microphone volume. I click that. So.
Oh, that's the one you don't want.
Oh, that's the one you don't want? Okay. Well,
because then it'll make you quieter. Sorry, I was just like noticing, like I don't hear the echo anymore. Dan, you still hear it?
It just sounds like he's
riveting
talking away.
Podcast topics.
I'll work on that too. I'll work on my promotions. I'll work on my.
Well, I mean, I think you should. I think. Dropping name bombs. How long you been reselling? 20 years. What kind of microphone do you? What kind of microphone you got, Jimmy?
I got the Yeti.
Oh,
he's got like a ball on top.
Blue Yeti.
It's fancy.
Yeah, just because I breathe really loud, and so I'm trying to do anything I can to. I know people probably still hear it, huh? It helps a little bit. Yeah, it's like a filter. You should always filter your sound, guys. Come on.
I'm new to all this. 13 episodes.
You've never mentioned that once. Is the
My
filter.
bad. And you can get this for like $3 on Amazon. It's really
the filter.
Really cheap. It's like
is that why people have like those baskets in front of like the?
Yeah, it's like a basket. Yeah, it's
like
a wicker. It's a wicker
basket.
Yeah,
I don't know. Eventually, maybe I have a lot. You know what? As a struggling reseller who hasn't been doing this 20 years, that I have better things I'd want to spend my money on than I have a microphone, and it works okay. And
just go to mom's. Just go to mom's. You got an extra wicker basket laying around. Just put that sucker right in front of it.
I do. I might have them still in the garage.
A longer burger. Is that what those are called? Longer.
I bought a basket. I used to.
I never found one.
I found those baskets that were going around like on watching YouTube videos and people are selling baskets. So I went to the Goodwill and bought wicker baskets and was listening to them for a while.
I've seen longer burger everywhere, but I've never found a good one. Sonia knows a little bit about them. They need to be older and they need to be like cooler styled ones.
Yeah, I've never.
That's all. That's all I know. That's all I know about.
No, that's more than I knew. I have heard of that. No, this is some regular basket.
I think that's how you say it. Longer burger.
You sold some clothes baskets, damn it.
I sold a laundry basket. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what
I learned about that from watching Kevin Commonwealth Picker. He was I was watching the Picker video, and he was showing a Rubbermaid container, and it has like a number in there, and he's like, "Oh, this will sell pretty good." And so I like went to the bins and I found like a Rubbermaid laundry basket, and it wasn't like a cool color. It was like an evergreen, like a green color. And I bought it and I listed it. So I got it from the bins. It's not that, it doesn't weigh that much, but it sat for over a year in my store. And I want to say I ended up selling for like $70.
What?
I'm pretty
sure. There's like a market for those older, what style is it? Like there's older style laundry baskets. So there's a market for that, right?
Like mostly like the nicer, better colors are better. Like the
stuff like the stuff that we grew up with as kids, the laundry basket I would have had as a kid, right? Like
that's
the way I can describe it.
I'm gonna look it up. I have a because I was just looking it up to see how much I feel like it was 70. It might not have been that high. I was at Christmas and my aunt brought over presents and she had them in a basket and she was getting her stuff together and I'm like, you want me to help you carry this? And she's like, oh no, I have my basket over there. Just bring it over here to me. So I bring her basket and I'm scoping out her basket because it's the same basket. And I was like, and it was like it was a light blue color. It wasn't like a flashy color. And I'm like, this basket, be careful with this basket because this basket is worth some money. And she's like, is it really? And I'm like, yes.
She's like, damn, what are you doing looking at the bottom of my basket?
It was like, it's a nice basket.
So it was an older one?
Yeah. I'm gonna look at
like how do you because baskets are so highly produced over the years. How do you determine
so
a
had like the
basket
sticker? It had like sticker on the inside of it with the it's just like the other stuff. It has like a number on it. I'm scrolling through my Canva because I know I have a picture of it because I think I don't think I
we're
put
talking
it on
like
Instagram.
a standard laundry basket, right? Like just
like a regular laundry. I'm gonna find a picture and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna have to mute because I got a cough too.
I tried selling like an old hamper once. So actually, Sonia bought it. She's like, I'm gonna try. Like, I think people said these older hampers. The one we got wasn't good. It didn't sell at all. I think I sold it at my yard sale for like $2, and I probably paid more than $2 for it when I bought it at a yard sale. That's how I take a loss as a reseller when I buy something that I end up selling at my yard sale for $2.
I thought you put it on Instagram, Dan.
I don't know.
You learned this from
I'm gonna show. I found a picture. I sold it for 40. Plus, it was like 20. It was like 26.75 to ship it. I'm showing a picture if you're watching.
Yes, that's exactly what I was picturing. It. Yep, man. I remember having.
It took a very long time, but like if you can find it a cooler color, it's just a vintage. If you're listening, it's a vintage Rubbermaid laundry basket, and it's the number is 2965. It says it right in like there's a
like an impression on the inside. Oh, okay.
There's a sticker, and I find them if you can find like a really cool color. But I just got a message.
Did you sell your sister's? Did you take your sister's laundry basket then, or did she get to keep it?
No, that's my aunt. That was my aunt. No,
aunt. I'm sorry.
No, I should list it. I should take pictures and list it.
Hey,
it'll take a long time to sell, but it's like one of those. I mean, I used it. I put stuff in it. I had it out in the garage, and I used it as I didn't put anything crazy in it because I didn't want it to get messed up. But I had it sitting on a shelf, and I would just put different things inside of it that like other bigger items to hold in there. It took forever. And I saved a box. I shipped it in a box, and I found at some point I got some. I don't remember what kind of box I put it in. I don't remember now. I had a box that
like was the shipping a lot?
Honestly, I don't remember. I wish it was so long. It was a long.
I remember having one of those baskets. You know what they double as? As a kid, I used to use it as like a prison for my G.I. Joe figures, like because it has the bars that go up and down.
I thought you could put like a cat. You could
turn it over and
put a cat inside of it. Like when you're bringing it, people do it like so. If you're bringing in groceries, you put the cat in it so they can't get out of the house, so you can keep
just
an eye
turn
on
it over. I think the cat could move, like maybe a kitten. A cat would probably just pop that thing right up.
I don't think they could.
They'd be too scared.
You can put a book on top of it.
You said it's not very heavy, so that's. Or you could just the box that you shipped it in. You could put a couple holes in the box that you shipped it in, and put the cat in the box.
But I can't remember what kind of box I had. It was like a whole thing. I think I might have a video someplace. I think I was recording it. I was so excited about it. I might have put it in my stories, or I don't know if I.
You don't sell a lot of bigger stuff though, do you, Dan? Well, I mean, you're selling the.
No, I used to pick up all kinds of stuff, and then if I find it, I'm not scared to ship stuff, but sometimes it's hard to store everything. When I was trying to like
making sure you get the shipping right is the hardest part. Like, make sure you know what you're doing with the shipping if you're selling.
We talked about this before. Yeah, and I'll prepackage it. I didn't prepackage that. Going back to wicker baskets. I sold one in the person. They're like, oh, thank you so much. Other people, they have it unreasonable prices because of the shipping or whatever. And I'm pretty sure, I can't tell you, I don't remember what I sold or whatever, but I'm pretty sure like I didn't have dimensions right now, lost shipping. Like on some of that stuff can be because they're kind of weird.
This is a good time for a big item sales update. Joe, did you ever list those trash cans that you have?
I did not. Nope.
No.
It's actually sitting in the garage.
Are you gonna sell? We talked about the torpedo trash cans that Joe has. How many do you have?
I have 2 of them. One's
Did
a better.
you ask your wife if you could sell them yet?
Well, no.
Is she there?
I'll ask her before I list.
Go call her. Have her come down and tell us.
We have a full house here today. It was a snow day today. Snow day today. Everybody's off from school. 3 different schools. Everybody had a snow day for an inch.
How mad would it have been?
Inch and a half of snow.
If 2 were off and 1 had to go to school.
Well, okay, so my oldest son found out last night that he was off from school.
Oh, this is terrible.
So you got to stay up late.
Yeah, so he got to stay up late. So my middle son didn't find out until this morning, but he had a 2-hour he had a 2-hour delay already last night. They came out and said a 2-hour delay. So I let him stay up a little bit later because he was going to have the 2-hour delay. And I think if my daughter, she's 5, so she's in preschool, so she would have stayed home anyway. She would have probably stayed home anyway because one of the boys were off. So, but luckily everybody's home, everybody's off.
You just sold those?
I sold these last night. I'm showing it's a pair of Nike Alpha Shark.
Look at those pictures, huh? That's
Flex
sharp. For those of you listening,
football cleats, a 6Y. For the person they messaged me last night and they said, "Hello, hope all is well. Could you please ship these as soon as possible? I'm trying out for Music City Misfits WFA. It's a pro women's football alliance." So I sent these. So she wanted me to ship them as soon as possible. Shipped them today. She paid for Ground Advantage. Ground Advantage was $7.35. So I looked to send it priority to Tennessee. It was $7.20. So I upgraded her. Messaged her back that I upgraded her, and I hope you do very well on your.
Oh, hey! I hope she makes the team too. Whoever you are, we hope you make the team.
Yeah.
Unless you're
look at that customer service Dan is providing.
But that was awesome. That was the first time I made sure I'm like, I upgraded you to hopefully because today's the 16th. She wants them by the 20th. Huh?
That was so you did have one good thing happen. You did some great customer service this week.
I know, that was funny. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I let her know.
You should.
Because honestly, I was like, oh my god, she's gonna try out for this team. She's not gonna make it.
She's gonna return them. She's gonna return them next week.
She's gonna return them.
Should have blocked her. Dan.
She's gonna return them. I did. Oh man, I blocked a guy last week. A guy last week asked me. He was asking me a whole bunch of questions about a pair of shorts.
Oh boy!
And was wanting to know because they're a pair of Polo Sport like athletic shorts, so they have like an elastic band. But I still put the measurements in there. He wanted to know so it's like a 17 and so it's like a 34 race, but like how far if I stretch them out can they fit? And
yeah, I don't answer.
I was like, man, whatever, dude, get out of here. I blocked him. And then some other guy asked me a question like the shirt is a 4XT, and he wanted to know, which I don't even know the answer, if it's the same as a 4XLT. I don't know the difference. I didn't block him, but I ignored him because then he was like, if it is, send me the link. I don't know what.
Send the link.
What is the maybe someone maybe a viewer knows or listener knows what's the difference between 4XT and 4X?
Like because there's like I know like
extra large like tall and 4 extra tall. I don't know.
Extra large, extra tall because they have like a Polo. I get excited when I find like a 3XB, like 3 extra large big, but I don't know if is that the same as 3 if it's XXXL. Like I don't know now.
I don't know.
Maybe that's what.
Apparently, this guy's not going to wear that because he would know, right? So,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you.
I have the measurements in there.
Maybe he wears for what he asked 4XL. Maybe he wears 4XLT.
Right. He wants to know if it's the same, but I have the measurements in there. So I would. But he's like, send me the link. Like you're talking to me on the like. What do you mean? Send you the link.
So, send him the link.
Whatever. So I guess my sales could have been better.
But
hey, make sure you check.
But I did the nice thing. I upgraded a lady free of charge.
Yeah, make sure you check the roster to see if she makes the team. So
I probably charged.
I
want to feel bad.
upgraded later and I made money.
Oh no, that one I did. That one I did calculated shipping too. So I charged because I was gonna say I probably charged her like $8.99 for shipping, but I didn't. I did calculated. Oh.
Joe, I want to go back to Joe having the snow day stuff because I want to ask a little question because Dan, did you grow up where there were snow days? I didn't grow up where there were snow days as a kid.
So when I was in middle school, or elementary and middle school, I lived in South Carolina.
Okay.
We had snow every other year for like one day. So they would make us come to school and they would push us through school as fast as they could so they could send us home. And we go home, play in the snow, and the next day it would melt. It was great. But by the time I moved to middle school, I finished middle school and high school. I was here in Indiana, and we had snow days once in a while. I got snowed in. We had the blizzard of 98. The blizzard of 98 was crazy. I got stuck at my friend's house for 3 days. There was no power places. I went to go pick up my buddy. He went to go. I was picking him up from school, and he was going to help me put up. I ran for class president, and he was.
You ran for class president?
I was.
Wait a second.
I won
about
too.
Snow days, but this is a whole nother.
I was class president.
You won?
I won.
What?
I won too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was at lunch one day. I guess it was before. It was once I got into that. We were running for elections. Elections were coming up, and my buddy was we were joking about something, and he bet me like I wouldn't run. I'm like, I'll run. I don't care. I'll run. So I ran, and I won because you got to speak at graduation.
Dan is not only an ambassador, but he's a president too.
I was a
student council president right there.
No. Yes. Of my graduating class.
You gotta be kidding.
That wasn't over the whole school.
That's why you've been asking me to do this political podcast. You love politics.
I loved politics when I was young. I loved politics. I asked my mom right now. I was like, "Was politics like this when I was a kid?" I loved. Oh my gosh! Like we had to do a report in like sixth grade, 92. I think it might have been fifth grade. Whenever Clinton was running against George Bush, the original, and then Ross Perot. I remember making a report. I loved politics. I'm like, was it this great? I loved watching the conventions. I loved it.
Remember that? I mean, have you ever heard that joke where the guy? I think Brian Regan tells it, where he's like, "When I had to do my political report, I woke up that morning. I was like, oh no, it's due today." I was literally doing my report in the morning.
It was so much fun. I don't know. I just liked it. It was. I don't know what it was. I liked it. Now it's.
You don't want to touch it now, right?
Nah, I don't want to touch. I don't.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not political either. I just. I don't know. I think it's the sense of like. I don't know. You're excited to see. I went to the Chicago Auto Show and like Al Gore was there when he was vice president. I was so excited. Like I'm like, oh my god, it's Al Gore. Like how is that? The guy that invented the internet is right there. Like,
oh shoot.
I mean, how's that not cool?
Yeah, I just can't believe that I don't ever picture you. You did it on a bet, like a dare kind of then, huh?
Yeah, kind of a dares. Yeah.
And then you won.
And I won.
What does a class president do? I don't know. Like I
never
knew what they were for. Like I don't know what is a class president.
I thought it was because I had like I just wanted to do fun. Like it wanted to be fun. It was really a lot of fun. But they were you kind of when I was a senior, you had to give gifts. You had to do like a big gift. Just fundraisers. Gift to the school, and I had an idea for. So I graduated in 1999. So in front of our school, there's a big. I go to school. The mascot is the Indians, but in front of the school, there's this huge, some kind of steel Indian head that's out front, and it was from one of the classes. And in my idea, I wanted to do like this is so sad. I wanted to have a marquee sign out front with like a scrolling ticker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what. But they're like, no, we don't do that. We give all the money to we do this. We give the money here. I'm like, all right, and it was like you're helping. You design T-shirts, so like I was like all excited about doing that. It was a big to do. I wanted like Teletubbies and different things on the T-shirt. Now it was just these are the basically you couldn't do anything. Everything I wanted to do, they just like shoot your ideas down. They were like, this is stupid.
Wow.
My oldest son's in student council. He's not president, but they pretty much do like the fundraisers for the school. They volunteer. They have to volunteer.
It's fun. I had a lot of fun.
He enjoys it. He enjoys it too. But I think
I won an award for. So when I got into it, because when I ran, basically it was running. You were running early spring. It was March is when the elections were, and that was for the following year. So then you had the rest of the school year, and then till the following year. So then I kind of got into it as a representative. So then I did that for like the whole year. But when I don't remember. Oh, so anyway, I won an award. I was most improved, and I got a trophy. I have a trophy.
So most improved what?
Like there's different
levels, like student something. I'll try to find it. See if I find it.
When you're the president, are you like in charge of everybody else that won? Like Joe said, his son is in the council or whatever. Like when you're the president, you kind of walk in with like this authority and everything goes.
Well, so I was just over my class. So then there was like I had a buddy.
It was like a treasurer, isn't there? Like student.
There's a treasurer. Yeah. All my
do they answer to you? Like, do they answer to you? When
you didn't really have to do any. But there was like one of my buddy was the student.
You guys had a monopoly.
He was the student body president, so he was in charge of the body president.
There's a difference.
And I was just of my class, but it was really cool. I got to go on. I went to the state student council meeting. It was so awesome. I got put up in someone's house. Like it was in Mishawaka, Indiana, and I got to stay at like just another that school's one of their representatives. They hosted us, so it was me and other people, and then we went over to when I went and partied with don't mean like party, but like went to there's a big fun.
You think you know a guy? He's the president.
It was a lot of fun.
He's out partying, and
I gave a speech at winter graduation and the I got to it was the speeches sucked, but that was okay. That was awful. I probably plagiarized things, so whatever. Oh, that was the other thing. The big thing I wanted to do. So this is 1999. I wanted to get a speaker. I might have talked about this before. I wanted to get a speaker at my graduation, and every year they had the district or whatever, the area state representative come speak, and I tried to get Mr. T to come to speak.
Dude,
I wrote Mr. T a letter to come speak at my graduation, and they would. I
don't ever think of Mr. T as like someone that would be listen, fool.
I don't remember why or what. I just thought it would be awesome.
Calling everybody fools and stuff.
Why Mr. T at the time?
Yeah, I don't remember. I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't know. I have no idea.
Mr. T. I got a Mr. T action figure on my shelf.
Is that an A-team action figure or what is it? Wrestling?
Yeah.
Is it wrestling? Yep. I've seen a wrestling figure. Is that wrestling or A-team?
It's just he's wearing the A-team outfit. I don't know though.
Oh, because I've seen I just saw recently. I saw a wrestling figure of Mr. T.
I bet you I could sell his belt for a lot of money. Usually the belts on these older figures. But he's a keeper.
Did we talk a little bit about reselling today? What did we talk about?
Yeah, we talked about promoted a lot.
Did we finish up on that?
I think we did.
Because I feel like a lot of times we don't finish up. We'll start talking and then we start rambling. We all talked about. We all able to talk about promoted. We didn't skip it.
Well, I'll finish my part of it. I most likely I'm going to go back to promoting, just like I did before, and let eBay have it. Because like I said, it was forever. I can't tell you the last time I remember not selling.
Oh yeah, because Jimmy said it depends on it's everyone. Like if you think you have to do it, right? You said that, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with like listing, right? Like because I was telling earlier, I like to list every day. I feel like it does something. Joe doesn't.
No, I don't.
So, huh?
No, I don't list every day, but I
don't because you don't think it doesn't matter. Like you don't think it matters.
No, so I do think it matters. I just sometimes I don't have, I just don't have the time to do it. But I do think it affects your store, in a way.
I think the way it matters the most is like I listed 5 things yesterday and I sold 2 of them. Like that's helping.
You listed 5 things. 2 of the 5 things you listed yesterday sold today.
Yeah, sold overnight. Yeah,
that's good.
So like that obviously is helping sales. I mean, and again, if it's not listed, it can't sell. I'm gonna promote. I don't like some of the new tools. That's a conversation we could have another day because the pay per click stuff where you literally pay even if it doesn't sell. I
I know
messed
that.
with that once early on just because I didn't want any part of it, and I don't ever want to have any part of it, but I like to just educate myself and learn about new things, and so I'll test them out to see how they work. And I ran like $20 and I sold nothing on it. And I was like, so I just gave eBay. That's when I was like, that's when you like talk about having you buy the hacky sacks. Like they literally took that $20 and just gone.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I will. Someone asked me a question yesterday, and it was a question I responded, and they just bought it because I responded. I sold the doll.
Where'd you pull that from? What was that?
That was under the basket. You kept that under the basket. Tell me.
It was underneath my shelf.
Was it on your lap the entire show?
Listen, if I sold that thing, I'd be glad to see it go. I'd want that sucker out of my house.
I found this thing at the bins. If you're listening, it's a cute doll. But
Yeah.
I found it at the bins.
What is up with that haircut?
So at the bins, when I watch people on YouTube, they always talk about, oh, if you see like a doll that kind of looks realistic, like buy it. Like it's like buy it. So I saw this doll and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it and figure it out later. Like it's like
now
with the hair.
I know why you had the baby gate and why it's hard for you to sleep. And listen, like Joe and I both have kids, so we know what it's like to wake up in the morning and have somebody looking at you because I already know you wake up and your kid's standing there staring at you. Dan, if you would have woke up and that doll was standing there staring at you, like you talk about running out of your house screaming, like you would have been done.
So the lady asked because I was like, the hair looks weird. Is what I think is what I put in the listing.
She asked me here for those watching. Like
I'm pretty sure. So the lady yesterday she messaged me and said, "Good morning. I was wondering if the hair on this sweet doll is rooted or a wig. I think she's very precious. May God bless you." Is what
I would have put possessed.
So I saw that message yesterday. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to mess with this person. This sweet doll. So anyway, this morning I was like, oh yeah, I had the doll sitting up on top of my boxes for months. Is where I listed it, and that was the storage place spot I picked for it. It was on top of my box.
I just feel bad for the listeners. The people that are listening right now think that Dan is holding up this like really cute little doll that's all adorable and everything. So it is like this scary porcelain face doll with this weird Friar Tuck type hair.
Everybody look right into your camera because then maybe we'll make this a thumbnail.
It's gonna don't make eye contact with it, guys. It will possess you. Did
you look for real? Because I want to cut this out for the thumbnail.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. We'll try to do it. So anyway, I didn't even think about that if it was or not because I was scared it wasn't going to sell because of the hair. But if you look, it's not rooted. It's just like a wig. So I sent her a picture and she bought it. So I was like, oh, and I thanked her for letting me know. I didn't think about that. I don't.
Customer service.
So how much did it sell for?
I sent an offer. It sold for $17.99. Not like a great sale either, but it's from the bins, Joe.
How much do you pay for a pound at the bins? You probably paid less than $4 for it.
Probably. It's. I mean, the legs are a little heavy. I thought about keeping it, and I was gonna put clothes I found at the bins on it, and I was gonna put it right on Joseph's back.
Oh.
It weighs
he's talking about Joseph on the floor, not
Joseph.
Yeah, it weighs 1.8 it weighs 1.9 pounds, so almost 2 pounds. So I bought this. You go to sleep, baby.
Why are you holding it like a real baby now?
He's been holding it the whole time.
He's holding it. You've been holding it this whole time.
I was holding it the whole time. The whole show I've been like this.
Now you have to burp it. You have to burp it.
Oh, it's not one of those dolls, Joe.
I'm surprised. I never thought dolls sold that well. I see them at estate sales all the time.
I don't even do anything with them.
I don't remember. Let's see if it has like a name or anything on it.
No,
it just that stuck out to me. Oh, it's Sydney. It's called a Sydney doll. Sydney doll.
Like Australia.
It had
Sydney, Australia.
I don't think it's that. It's SYNDEE. It had I don't remember if it said it someplace.
So she just liked the way, like she just liked the way.
Precious doll.
Man, precious doll.
Oh man, I said I don't like my description. I just put the hair is short. I didn't put
hair is short and not rooted. That's wild.
Is it really a wig? Is that what it is?
Well, it's like
you gotta ship it.
Okay.
It's like glued on.
Oh no, it is rooted. Oh no.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Code red.
I'm gonna have to
send her a message.
It doesn't look rooted on.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. I pulled it a little bit. I'm not gonna
just avoided.
Whatever. If someone says that when I'm a little nervous about this one. Maybe I'll
just send the thing.
I'm not gonna ship it today. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. I already did my shipping today.
Is that breakable? Is like the head breakable porcelain? Like, are you gonna bubble wrap that or?
It's not, but I'm gonna bubble wrap it anyway.
All right.
It's plastic. I'm gonna take care. I might put it in a car seat.
You're gonna deliver that thing in the snow.
Oh no, I haven't left the house.
Where's it going?
Let's find out where it's going. New Mexico. Oh my god, it's gonna be so expensive.
Get in the car now.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so expensive.
That's wild. Little old ladies in New Mexico are buying precious dolls from Dan in demand on the Pocket Change podcast, folks. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.